South Africa has a historic past of discriminatory laws of the apartheid regime that oppressed citizens along racial lines. The Employment Equity Act of 1998 was signed into law to address the historical imbalances. The new amendments to the Act will enforce companies to comply or face penalties for breaches. The purpose of the numerical targets is to ensure equitable representation of suitably qualified people from historically disadvantaged groups based on race, province, gender, and disability at all occupational levels in the workplace. However, interest groups believe what they view as a radical change will not help the economy and individual sectors to grow.
According to the CEE's report, there's roughly 2.5 million people, 2.6 million people employed. The present percentages look like that, and the targets, according to across all four levels, is colored people should go from 11.2% to 8.7%, Indians from 7% to 2.5%, and whites from 24% to 8%. Now, if we say how many positions need to be created, so this is the top 40%, and we're assuming that the labor market would retain the structure. We can't only create managers or top managers. You need to create a certain amount of jobs at lower level to actually have a necessity for a manager. If we say that it retains that, then South Africa would need to create, I think it's about 12.6 million jobs minimum in the next 5 years to grow into the targets as published in the Gazette. This means we roughly need to double the amount of people who are working.
Where government feels there's an over-concentration, if you like, of coloured people in specific sectors or in specific levels of employment, the numbers have to be decreased in order to make space for African numbers to be increased. And in that way, coloured communities are also being disadvantaged.
The groups acknowledge that there needs to be redress, but it says placing targets will not address the systematic imbalances.
Input-based affirmative action, where you can actually make sure that you train and develop people instead of targets. Because at this stage, you have a system, and you say the system actually must try to rectify people, while we say no, empower people so that they can be successful. And that is the change of paradigm that we must make. And that's not our proposal, that's ours as well, but that's the exact same proposal of the United Nations.
The Labour Department says it will follow the legislative framework.
We respect every citizen's constitutional right to challenge any matter in court. We have called for inputs and comments on the Employment Equity Act, and all comments received are being considered and will be considered. However, any legal matter will be handled at the right platform. And that's the department's position in so far respecting every citizen's right on the matter.
The groups are expected to march to Parliament to hand over a petition. They will also approach the courts to get the signed act to be reversed. Thulas Nxesi, SABC News, Cape Town.